Tucker right with him. Curry launches a three.
Your teammates have to help you be a good passer. The cutting that time with Connaughton got it done.
What a ball by Irving. Around. Kyrie, a bomb. Oh! Straight fire.
Yo, it's your boy Durant Moses, and we're back. That's right, we're back with another video. As you can see, I got two special guests in the building. Ladies, wave your hands. Say hi. Yes, hi. This one on the end, that's Cameron. That's my younger sister. She's responsible for that nice little intro y'all saw in the beginning of the video. So give it up for her. Yes. And this one right here is my youngest sister, Candace. She's just here. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel, Cam and Cam. Link is in the description. Yeah, go check them out. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 point guards of the 2018-2019 season. That's right, baby. I'm dropping a list finally. It's been long awaited. I've done tons of research, and it's finally here. I'm going to let y'all know now. This list, y'all not going to like. First on the list we have, can I get a drum roll, please? Stephen Curry. That's right. Stephen Curry, the babyface assassin. This 9-year guard out of Davidson is a 2-time MVP, 3-time NBA champ, 5-time All-NBA team selection, and a 6-time All-Star. And as you know, Steph Curry plays on probably one of the most hated teams in the league, the Golden State Warriors, along with Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. Over the course of the season, the former MVP averaged 27 points per game on 47% shooting. He shot 91.6% from the free throw stripe and 48.7% from three. That's very good. And along to go with that, the former MVP averaged 5.3 rebounds per game, along with 5.2 assists per game as well. He averaged 1.3 steals per game and 0.4 blocks per game. He also averaged 2.8 turnovers per game, which is not bad. And here's where it gets interesting. When you dive into the advanced stats of Stephen Curry, the point guard had a net rating of 14.1. And his true shooting percentage was 64.1. And his effective field goal percentage was over 60%. Now, when it comes to the point guard's assist to turnover ratio, it could have been a little bit better. He only is sitting at a low of 1.88. Steph Curry has a plus minus of 10. 10. That's very high, especially for an 82-game season in which he played 69 of them. Even though Kevin Durant is the most impactful player on the Warriors, Stephen Curry still had a player impact estimate of 15.2. That's very high. And moving on to the next spot on my list, the number 2 spot. And can you guess what this player is? Can I get a drum roll, please? You guessed it, my favorite player, Kyrie Uncle Drew Irving. And the former number 1 overall pick in the 2011 NBA draft is a former Rookie of the Year and is a 1-time NBA champ. And I'm sure y'all remember what year that was. That's right, when he hit the famous game-winning shot over Stephen Curry in Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals. This 6-time NBA All-Star averaged 23.8 points per game over the course of the season on 48.7% shooting from the field. He shot 87.3% from stripe and above 40% from the three-point line. And along with that, he averaged 5 rebounds per game, 6.9 assists, that's more than Stephen Curry, per game. He averaged 1.5 steals per game, also more than Stephen Curry, and 0.5 blocks per game. Can you guess it? That's more than Stephen Curry. And along with that, Kyrie Irving shot very well from the field. He was very efficient, as his effective field goal percentage was 55% and his true shooting percentage was 59.2. Now, Kyrie's plus or minus wasn't as high as Stephen Curry's. It was only a 5, but that's better than most point guards. But he is very impactful from the field, as his player impact estimate is sitting at 15.7, which is higher than Stephen Curry's. So give it up for Kyrie Irving, sitting at the number 2 spot on this year's list. Moving on, now it's time for the lucky number 3 spot. And boy, this man has grown on me this year a lot. Somebody put me on, I'm not going to mention his name, but somebody really put me on to this player this year. And with that being said, can I get a drum roll, please? Give it up for Damian Lillard, Dame time, Mr. Clutch, Mr. Wade bye-bye to Russell Westbrook in the OKC Thunder in round 1 of the Western Conference Finals. That's right, Dame time, baby. This 6-year guard out of Weber State is a 4-time NBA All-Star and a 3-time All-NBA team selection. And he was the 2012-2013 Rookie of the Year. Now, over the course of the season, Mr. Dame Dollar averaged 25 points per game on 44.4% shooting from the field. He shot 91.2% from the charity stripe, which is highly efficient, and he shot well from the three-point line, only shooting 36.9% from the field. Along with those stats, Mr. Dame averaged 4.6 rebounds per game, 6.9 assists per game on 2.7 turnovers per game. He averaged 1.1 steals per game and 0.4 blocks per game. Now, taking a look at the advanced stats for Damian Lillard, the point guard had a net rating of 8 and assist to turnover ratio of 2.6. That's higher in net rating than Kyrie Irving, but lower in the assist to turnover ratio. Not only that, the Oakland native had an effective field goal percentage of 52.2% and a true shooting percentage of 58.8%. That's very good. And to go along with that, Damian Lillard is very impactful when he's on the court, as his player impact estimate is of 15.5. So with that being said, give it up for Damian Lillard taking the lucky number 3 spot on this year's point guard. Alright. Before we get into this next spot at number 4, this is where you're going to hate me. You're going to be like, Darrell, what are you talking about? There's no way he's a top 5 point guard in the league. You on something right now. But look, trust me, just hear me out. At the number 4 spot, we have Mr. Kyle Lowry. That's right, the 12-year guard out of Villanova who's on the Toronto Raptors right now, probably getting their butts beaten as I'm recording this by the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Kyle Lowry is a 5-time NBA All-Star and a 1-time All-NBA selection. And as you can see, his stats aren't that good or as elite as most players like Dame, Kyrie, or Stephen Curry's is. But they're good, especially when he has to play backup behind Kawhi Leonard and Pascal Siakam. And nobody expected Pascal Siakam to explode the way he did this year. And with that being noted, Kyle Lowry averaged 14.2 points per game on 41.1% shooting from the field. He shot 83% from the stripe and shooting 34.7% from 3. And over the course of the season, the Toronto point guard averaged 4.8 rebounds per game and 8.7 assists per game. That's the highest on this year's list. Along with that, the point guard averaged 2.8 turnovers per game, 1.4 steals per game, and 0.5 blocks per game. And he finished with the high plus-minus rating too at 8.2. Now this is where, and this is why I put Kyle Lowry where he is on the list. Taking a look at his advanced stats. The point guard has a high net rating of 10.6. That's right, that's second behind Steph Curry on this list. And that means when Kyle Lowry's on the court, his team is outscoring his opponents by nearly 11 points per game. The point guard has a high assist to turnover ratio sitting at 3.1, and he's shooting very efficient from the field. His effective field goal percentage is 51.8%, and his true shooting percentage is 56.2%. And yeah, his player impact estimate might not be as high as the others on this list, only sitting at 11.5, but Kyle Lowry is still a very effective point guard that you would love to have on your team. And with that being said, give it up for Kyle Lowry earning the number 4 spot on this year's point guards list. And for the last and final spot on this year's list, drum roll please. My sister fell asleep on me. And give it up for Chris Paul, the 13-year vet out of Wake Forest University. The current Houston point guard is a 9-time NBA All-Star, a 4-time assist champ, a 6-time steals champ, an 8-time All-NBA team selection, a 9-time All-Defensive NBA team selection, and the 2005-2006 Rookie of the Year. But in knowing that, Chris Paul averaged 15.6 points per game on 41.9% shooting from the field. He's a very good free throw shooter at 86.2% from the charity stripe and shot good at 35% from the 3-point line. The 13-year vet averaged 4.6 rebounds per game and 8.2 assists per game. That's second behind Kyle Lowry on this year's list. Along with that, Chris Paul averaged 2.6 turnovers per game, 2 steals per game, and 0.3 blocks per game. And he had an okay plus or minus at 5.2. Taking a look at Chris Paul's advanced stats, he has a net rating of 8.1 and assist to turnover ratio of 3.11. The point guard's effective field goal percentage sits at 50.8% and his true shooting percentage sits at 56%. And last but not least, his player impact estimate is 4th on this list. And last but not least, Chris Paul's player impact estimate is 13.8. That's 4th on this list. So give it up for the 13-year vet and future Hall of Famer Chris Paul for taking the final spot on this year's list. Thank you, fellas. Welcome back. And now it's time for the biggest snub of this year's list. And yes, you'll probably guessed it. It's Russell Westbrook. I know you're probably sitting there thinking like, Darrell, how is Kyle Lowry sitting there over Russell Westbrook on your list? Russell Westbrook is at least top 4 point guard, if not top 3 point guard in the league. He's the only person that ever averaged a triple-double in multiple years. And he just did it for the 3rd time, the 3rd year straight this year. How can you possibly leave him off this list? Well, let me break it down to you guys, okay? Just give me a minute. Let's take a look. Now, this 10-year point guard out of UCLA is an 8-time NBA All-Star, a 2-time scoring champ, a 2-time assist champ, a 7-time All-NBA selection, and in the 2016-2017 MVP. Mr. Triple-Double himself averaged 22.9 points per game, 11.1 rebounds per game, and 10.7 assists per game. That's amazing for a point guard. But here's where it gets ugly. Russell Westbrook cannot shoot. He shot good from the field at 42.8%, but he shot 65.6% from the free throw line. That's horrible. And to make it even worse, he only shot 29% from 3. 29% from 3. Karl Anthony Towns shot better than him. Even John Collins out of Atlanta shot a better 3-point percentage than Russell Westbrook. The point guard averaged 4.5 turnovers per game. That's very high. And he averaged 1.9 steals per game. That's good. And he also averaged 0.5 blocks per game as well. And to go along with that, Russell Westbrook only had a plus or minus rating of 4. That's lower than Kyle Lowry's. Yes, that's right. Kyle Lowry, number 4 on his list. And now let's take a look at his advanced stats. Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double, only had a net rating of 5.1. That's lower than Kyle Lowry's. He had an assist-to-turnover ratio of 2.41. That's lower than Kyle Lowry's. His effective field goal percentage was below 50%. That's really below Kyle Lowry's. And to top it all off, his true shooting percentage was 50.1%. That's also lower than Kyle Lowry's. Now, granted, Russell Westbrook's player impact estimate is 16.4, which is the highest out of any of the guards I've researched this year. But what you expect? He averaged a triple-double over the past 3 years, so of course he's going to have one of the highest player impact estimates this year. But that also means, even though he has a high player impact estimate, if he does terrible, that also negatively affects the team as well. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Russell Westbrook's game. He's one of my favorite point guards in the league. But if I'm a GM and you give me a list of all these stats and don't give me no names, I'm probably going to put Russell Westbrook at the bottom just because of how inefficient he is from the field. So I don't care. Y'all can slander me in the comments section all y'all want to. Russell Westbrook is just not top 5 this year due to his inefficiency this year. But with that being said, that's all I have for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. And here's one last look at the list. That's right, my list. You see Kyle Lowry, number 4. So after all this being said, I want to know what you guys think. Who is your top 5 point guards of this season? Put it down in the comment section down below. I'm going to read it. We're going to have some debates. I'm about to prove y'all wrong on why Russell Westbrook should not be in your top 5 list this year. And as I get out of here, make sure y'all follow me on both my social medias, Instagram and Twitter. The link should be down in the description. And last but not least, hit that like button if you all really enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button and that bell button so you don't miss another post. And don't forget to comment down below. Let me know who your top 5 point guards for this season are. I really want to hear this. And with that being said, it's your boy Durant of the Real Sports with his lovely sister Candace. Thank you for joining me today. And we'll catch you on the next video.